seated somewhere in one little corner, right? But they dared to dream, and today they're sitting here. So we're going to listen to them and hear their own stories and let it inspire us to also inspire others tomorrow. Agreed? Yes. Is it a deal? Yes. Wonderful. So who's going to be my first speaker? Yes, the lady in gray. Wonderful. So she'll tell you her name. I know her name, but I'll let her tell you her name, what her purpose is, what her life goals are, how she got to where she got to, who she is, what she does, right? And then we'll learn from it. Don't forget, you're sitting here and you're supposed to ask all the questions you're supposed to ask. No question is stupid, right? Nobody asks stupid questions. We're going to learn how to do things the right way. And from here, you're going to have a voice. We're starting it today so that you learn how to ask questions pertaining to your tomorrow, pertaining to somebody else's tomorrow. Don't forget, you're born leaders. So put your hands together for the first speaker.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my fellow ladies, and all you beautiful children, and all the people sitting in the audience. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to say a big thank you to Anita and the SaGG Foundation for giving me this opportunity. I actually felt very, very privileged because I felt that Anita saw it deemed me fit to come and talk to these young, upcoming, beautiful ladies. So thank you very much for that. Without much ado, I'll tell you, my name is Harriet Fofana. I am a Gambian girl, or you can call me Gambian lady because I still consider myself young. I would say that I'm a woman yet. And first of all, I am a teacher. I am a mathematics teacher at Laos Comprehensive Senior Secondary School. In the beginning, I started off wanting to be a teacher since I was young. Even though I didn't understand it. In the beginning, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher and I was 100% sure about it. But after a while, as I grew up and I began to know more about life and started listening to other people, I decided I didn't want to be a teacher. Because they'll say, teacher is a very difficult job. Those naughty children, teaching doesn't pay, so I decided that no, I'm not going to do teaching, I'm going to do something else. But when I got to university, before I chose the course that I wanted to do in university, I went to talk to an aunt of mine, and she advised me that do what you love. And I thought about it, what is it that I love? And it was mathematics. So I chose to do a degree in mathematics. And when I finished the degree in mathematics, even though they were offering us courses that included teaching at your final year, I was like, no way, I am not teaching. I didn't even bother to look in that direction. And then I finished my degree, and I took a year out and went to Kenya because I really didn't know what to do. So I went to do some missionary work, do in the villages, go and see how it is to really, do something. And by the end of the year, I was very sure that I wanted to be a teacher. So I came home, I called my grandmother, and because she was the one who sent me abroad to go and study, and I told her that I would teach. She was like, no problem. She was very happy to hear that. Because guess what? My grandmother herself was a teacher. And my grandmother is no other than my mentor, Mrs. Harriet Martha. Those of you who know Mrs. Lau. So, when I came back, I immediately went to teach. I started teaching mathematics, even though at that time I wasn't a qualified teacher. And when I started, I just knew that I was at the right place. And I was very happy about it. And from there, she paid for me to go and further my studies at Ghana to actually become a qualified teacher. And as I was teaching, I also had the experience, obviously you have to do the practical side of it. I had the experience of teaching in Ghanaian schools. And the system of education is amazing. The confidence in the young people, the way they go about, the education system in Ghana blew my mind. And I saw things there that I said I will definitely one day want to incorporate here in the Gambia. I got the privilege of teaching in one of the best schools, which have the best results. It's a Ghanaian boarding school, all girls boarding school. And not just the education part, not just the school, the academics, because education is a whole thing of its own, but not just the academics, even sports, the way they took serious sports, the way they took serious their grooming, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, the way they take their academics seriously. All those things, they really, really made me know that no, there's something else that I can do apart from just teach. So I came home with this at the back of my mind and continued teaching. Still, mathematics for the math. I have gotten to a point where I've been teaching for 11 years now. And because I started at a very young age, it looks strange that somebody has taught for 11 years and they still look like me. But at this point now, I'm no longer a full-time teacher, I'm a part-time teacher because other things have started drawing my attention. I started feeling a calling towards entrepreneurship because there's a way that education goes hand in hand with innovation. There's technology that needs to come into education. And I don't know, because I decided to join one of our Gambian, the Gambian Women Chamber of Commerce, all of a sudden they decided to send me to represent them in a certain forum where I get to sit with even the permanent secretary. And I get to have my voice heard and my opinions heard. And because I've been teaching for so long and I understand the system and I've been there, they listen to me. They're like, how come you're a teacher, number one? And then secondly, they're like, listen to her because she knows what she's talking about. She's been there for 11 years. She knows the people, she knows the young people. I tell them things that they know themselves are true.
72% of.
And therefore, I began to realize that I'm going down a certain path. I don't really know where God is taking me. But I know that there's more to it. And like our lady here was saying, we have a voice. And that voice must be heard. And if you don't stand up for what you truly believe, eventually your voice will be lost because you wouldn't know what to speak for. Even though in the beginning it seemed like I was just a tiny teacher in some corner, but all of a sudden somebody's interested in hearing my voice. So eventually I will begin to make that impact that I want to make someday. And I know that each and every single one of you has a dream. There's something you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you that what you want to be is not good enough. Because the reason why I ran home is because I knew that I think I would make a better impact in Gambia than anywhere else. I felt that even though they say Gambia is so tiny, but that is a plus for us. It's not saturated. It's not full of people who already know everything. When you say one word, people listen because they feel like, okay, this girl, she knows something. But when you go out there, you go to England, you go to America, you go to other countries, there are so many people who already are so excellent and so wonderful, and there are plenty. You know our population size is small. So it's like you're struggling. It's a big competition already to even be heard. But here, just study a little harder and be a bit focused. Be disciplined, and somebody will be interested in you. And like I said, the reason why when I came, when my students asked me, Ms. Kamara, why are you a teacher? Why did you even come back to Gambia? Me, if I go to America, I will not come back. If I go to UK, I will not come back. And I told them, what it is for me is that if I had decided to just take my mathematics degree and gone into another career, I would have felt like I've wasted my mathematics. What I want to do is multiply myself. I want to see many, many, many more mathematicians, and I am seeing that today. I'm seeing the students that I've been teaching. I could have been one mathematician in a corner somewhere. But right now, I can say that I have I can even say more than 1,000 mathematicians in different spheres of life. Sometimes I'm shy when I meet them and I cannot remember their names. I look at their faces, I'm like, they're like, it's Sabia. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I forgot your name. I'm embarrassed. Because I can't believe that in 11 years, I have churned out this many students. And mathematics is a problem of its own. We know that. So seeing a woman doing mathematics brings confidence. And without maths, you cannot do science. STEAM is a big deal right now. Science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Without the mathematics, maybe only the art will be possible. But even the application of the art will be a bit difficult because all of them work hand in hand. So Aisha, is there anything I've forgotten? Because I wouldn't like to put this mic down without saying everything that I need to say.
You touched on passion, purpose, and profession.
Profession.
Yes, that's the 3 P's.
Okay. So one thing I want to leave you with, and I don't want you to ever forget this. Don't do things because of money. Don't say, I want to be a doctor because of money. Be a doctor because you really love that career or you feel a calling towards that. Don't say, I want to be a nurse because nurses can travel very easily. It's not good enough. Your fire will fizzle out. You face obstacles that you will not be able to overcome. But when you do what it is that you really want to do, and you're doing it the right way, that money that you say that you're looking for, it will find you. You won't go looking for it. It will come looking for you. So that is what I want to leave you with today.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't know if you are taking notes, but I am taking notes. So what I'm going to do is I'll try to summarize all these points for us as take-homes. So we know, we have been fed fully. I was tempted to tell her, give me the mic. Teachers, when we start to talk, don't finish talking. I was tempted to tell her, please, it's okay, give me the mic. But I just had to allow the teacher in her, She goes to do entrepreneurship till thy kingdom come. Once a teacher, you are always a teacher. So thank you very much for that insight. Okay, so Fatou Baldeh is up next, and Fatou will also give us an insight into her 3 P's, her passion, her profession, and your purpose. So, okay. So please put your hands together for the beautiful Fatou. I hope, Fatou, you are not a teacher. Are you a teacher? Oh my God. Okay, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure being here among all these incredible ladies. So many of you I follow on social media. We follow each other and we are meeting for the first time. And, my greatest pleasure is always to stand in front of young girls and talk to you and hopefully inspire you by the end of the day. So it's a great pleasure to be here, Anita, and thank you for inviting me. So my name is Fatou Baldeh. I am the founder of Women in Liberation and Leadership, WIL. So a lot of what I am going to talk about today is some of the things that Ms. Fofana spoke about, but she's a teacher. She does a lot of teaching. In the opposite direction, I go on the grassroots. I speak to young women and mentor them or kind of advise them to break those barriers that tell young women that they can't be engineers, for instance, that they can't be doctors, that girls can be nurses but not doctors, or that girls can be receptionists but not the head of institutions, And one thing that I would really like for you all to take away today is that you're seeing incredible women sitting here who also probably had during their young ages that they couldn't be all those things, and today we are those things. As many Gambian women, I grew up from Tabokoto, which is a very densely populated area. I went to a public school, and I come from a family where both my parents were not educated. Both my mother and father never went to school. In fact, I am the first in my family to go to university. So for me, I feel I represent a lot of young women Because if we look at the population of the Gambia, how many people come from households who most of our mothers are not educated. And you know the challenges that comes with that. As Becky was saying earlier, when women are educated, you are in a position to be assertive. You can make decisions about your body, about your rights, about what happened to your children, about what career you can go to. If you are not exposed to education, you are not able to make some of those decisions. And this is why education is the key. I always say to people that I am an example of that. Looking back where I came from and to where I am today, I can go back to my community and talk to anybody and say, hey, I am the daughter of Gidom Baldeh, and who worked in a hotel. Today, I have graduated. I hold a bachelor's degree in psychology and health studies. I hold a master's degree in sexual and reproductive health. I was awarded a member of the British Empire by the Queen, being one of the first women who ever achieved that. So, in the Gambia. So, coming from my background, that is a big deal. Girls from my background are often told that they cannot achieve those things. And I achieved it. So, I believe that, my story can inspire a lot of people. So presently, I use my story, I use my skills. I used to live in the UK, but even when I was studying there, I've always wanted to come back to the Gambia and give back. I wanted to give back to young women especially. So that is why a lot of my work presently involves working with young women to teach them about their rights, about their bodies. I mentor young girls as well, and I know a lot of my sisters do that as well. And one of the things that I have incorporated in my work, one of the things that I always say to other women, what we want is a society where we are each other's sisters keepers. Like we support each other as young women, as older women. Like we learn from each other, that you learn from us. When I was going to school, when I was your age, I was never privileged enough to have this mentorship. I was never privileged to sit in front of other women who have careers to see them. I remember the other day I was explaining to someone that for me, one thing I remember when I was growing up, one thing that motivated me, what inspired me was seeing a woman driving a car. And I used to say to myself, when I grow up, I want to drive a car. That was something that I wanted to do. I didn't know how to get there. Nobody told me that I needed a good job or I needed a career, but I knew I wanted to own a car when I grow up. So seeing a woman driving was something that really motivated me. And today I proudly own a car. So, dreams, you can achieve your dreams. As one of the speakers mentioned, what is important is focus and determination. If you are focused, if you are determined, they tell us the sky is the limit. The sky is no longer the limit. People are going to Mars. Yeah? So the sky is no longer the limit. So I'll stop for now, and I hope we can talk more as the day goes. Keep clapping, keep clapping.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so very much. The sky is no longer the limit. So, the Baldes and the Kandes. Okay. All right, so we'll ask the next speaker to just come and do something similar, but this time she'll give us the version of the Kande Kundas. All right, so please put your hands together.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. I am so honored to stand before a lot of great ladies here. I've heard that Gambia, we have a lot of great ladies, but I haven't actually had the opportunity to meet them. So I thank Sun Foundation for giving me that opportunity to meet everyone here. So my name is Hajara Kandeh, living in Sifo, and I'm 23 years old. So that shouldn't be, let me be a plus for me because I have my master's in mathematical science, yes, from Ghana. I also did my bachelor's in the Gambia here, where many people don't want to study because they think study in the Gambia is something very small. They want to go out. Like, after having your 9 A's, 9 credits, you think studying in the Gambia is like a waste of your knowledge. But if you go out, who is going to help your community? Who is going to make people better? So I studied in the University of Gambia, and I'm very proud of it because university is the one that gave me the opportunity to be able to stand outside and apply to other schools and get the opportunity I had. I had a fully funded scholarship in Ghana. I did my master's in just 1 year with my thesis and everything. So it was just a 1-year program. So mathematics, I did mathematics actually. So, okay, if you are in high school, so when I was in my high school, I was like, when I was going to high school actually from junior school, I was like, oh, I'm going to do commerce. I want to be a banker. I want to wear those suits and everything, you know, that fashion and everything. I really want to do that. So when I went to Kotu Senior, the principal said, no, your aggregate is too good for you to do commerce. I was like, no, I want to do commerce. He was like, no, no, no. So he said, let me try science for a year and see if I will really like it or not. Because I didn't get the mentorship, I thought liking maths, commerce is the field for me, not knowing that science was actually the field for me because science has a lot of maths to do than commerce. Even though commerce, there's a lot of calculation and all. So lacking the mentorship almost led me astray from what I really wanted to do. So after my high school, after doing science and all, I was like, hey, now I want to be a medical doctor. But then an issue came again. I was admitted at the hospital. So being in the hospital, their job is very nice and everything. But it's not something I'm passionate about. It's not something I want to spend the rest of my life doing. So I was like, no, that's no more the part for me again. So I had to sit down and then think. I was like, okay, I love mathematics. Let me go and study math and see what it will be. But people were telling me, if you study maths, you're only going to be a teacher. You're not going to have money. Look at your teachers. They don't even have a car. They are still struggling and everything. I was like, anyways, I love maths. So right now, that's what I want to do. So after doing mathematics for like 4 years, I finished. Before going to somewhere else, someone advised me to teach, to be able to get the public speaking skills, to be able to communicate and learn about people. So I volunteered for 1 year in the provinces, the provincial Gambia, because I wanted to meet new people, people who are less privileged. So after teaching for 1 year there, I was lucky to get my scholarship to Ghana. And one of the reasons why I got it was because I was giving back to my society. So when I was there, there's this concept the Gambian have. We can't do maths. Okay, if I told a student that you can do maths, you have the ability and everything, it was like, no, my brother also cannot do maths. My brother studies maths every day, but he can't even pass maths. The whole school, like, they have that mentality. So my real passion is to remove that mentality from people. When I went to Ghana, I was saying, okay, when I go to Ghana, I'm going to study mathematics and other aspects, maybe finance and all. But later on, I was like, no, this is not the field I want to be. I have to eradicate math. Because when I was there, when the results came out, the worst result, the failure in math again was like, oh my God. Because in the Gambia, when you have a C6 in math, you think you are there. In Ghana, they don't think of credit. No. Like your worst result is that you have 9 credit, you are happy. No. What they think is the 9 A's is easier to calculate. Even when you're applying for their schools, you don't apply for 9 credits. They ask you maybe you have 5 A's, 6 A's and everything. I was like, I have to really go back to my country and put that mentality into them, that they can do maths. People who are doing maths are just the same as us. They have one head, like I do. We all go to the same school and everything. So I think every female should be able to really like maths. Because I was having a conversation with a doctor. So the person was like, calculating how many doses to give the person because the person was having malaria and the age and everything. And everything has to do with maths. If you think math is only being a teacher, no, it's not true at all. Because I did mathematics, but my thesis was mainly focused on climate science. I used mathematics to understand the climate, to understand the environment. So doing mathematics, people think, no, there is no money. As my lecturer normally says, when you study STEM, either engineering, technology, the money doesn't come in that instant. It's not a fast money way. It goes with time. As time goes on, you get exactly what you want. You will see people traveling to other countries just because of education, because you're educated. People for your visa, people for your hotel, your stays and everything. So let us remove the mentality of, I want to do a particular job because I want to earn money. No. Let's do the job so that we can get, sometimes there's this happiness I get from giving out. Like when I was actually teaching there's this happiness I drive. Like I've never got that happiness before. It's a lot. When you are outside, you see someone you thought is achieving great things, even though you are still a teacher. But the person is a manager or an engineer or whatever. The person still believes that, oh, this was my teacher. I was reading a post on LinkedIn today. So the person saw a beggar on the street and was like, she looks familiar. He didn't understand. Like when she went back home, she took a look at her primary school picture. It was a math teacher. But the teacher was on the street because the kids left her after telling her to leave the profession and everything. But those kids that she taught were the ones who brought her back, fed her, clothed her, and gave her everything she wants. So you have to say that, educating people, mentoring people, it might not give you money right now, but later in the future, it says a lot. It gives you a lot without you realizing it. So I think I should stop here. Thank you.